Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review and wear test on the new Dior 24-hour wear high perfection skin caring matte foundation. And I don't know how new this is. I know this is like relatively new. How I came to learning about this foundation was I've always been a huge fan of the original Dior Forever Perfect foundation, and a few months ago I actually went on the Sephora website to repurchase another one, and I came to find out that it had been sadly discontinued, and I was like absolutely devastated. That was hands down my absolute #1 favorite Holy Grail foundation ever, and I was so surprised that they would discontinue it because I know it's a huge favorite of a lot of people. So I was really confused. So I did some investigating, and then I found out that they were actually, I think, reformulating it and coming out with 2 new versions of this foundation. One in a matte formula and then one in more of like a glowy, dewy formula for more dry skin tones. I was a little bit skeptical at first. I don't know why they would have to reformulate something that was so amazing to me. I immediately ran out and purchased it. I did get it in the same exact shade that I wore in the original formula. I actually still have my original one. It still has a little bit left in it, and I don't really want to use it up because I love this one so much. I have tried this out so far. I have used it a few times, and I have to say that I feel like the original formula is a lot, well, not a lot, but it's a little bit thicker in formula than this new one. This new one is a little bit more liquidy. So I'm gonna tell you guys some of the facts from the website. It says that it's a medium to full coverage foundation that remains flawless for up to 24 hours, which obviously nobody wears foundation for that long. So I guess they're pretty much saying that it'll last the entire day. The 24 hours with a velvety matte finish and an SPF of 35. I don't normally really like foundations that have an SPF in them just because that causes a lot of flashback, but whatever. I mean, SPF is good for the skin anyway when you're outside. And it is targeted for normal, dry, combination, and oily skin. This one in particular, I think, is targeted more towards like oily and combination skin types because it is a matte foundation, whereas the dewy and glowy formula is for more like dry. And it comes in 36 shades, where the original formula I think only came, I don't know how many it came in exactly, but it was like in the low 20s. So they came out with quite a bit of more shades. And some other ingredients in this formula, it helps to protect the skin from drying, leaves it soothed and looking smoother and more radiant. It has rosehip extract in it, which is the star ingredient of the foundation, and it helps protect the skin from external aggressors and reduce the appearance of pores, which is great for somebody like me who has a little bit more of a pore problem on my nose and on my cheeks. So yeah, the price of this foundation is $52, and you get 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliters, which I think is like typical for an average foundation. It is more on the pricier side because it is Dior, but I truly think that if you find a more high-end foundation that really does work for you, I definitely think that it's worth it. So the packaging comes in a really pretty glass frosted bottle, and more importantly, it comes with a pump, which I think is a huge plus. I definitely prefer foundations that come with a pump. I just find that you don't use as much product and you don't waste as much product as well. So, and it's just easier to pump this and apply it with. So I definitely am glad that it has a pump. So I'm just gonna show you guys 2 ways that I would apply this foundation. One side of my face I'm going to be using a sponge, and the other I'm gonna be using a brush, just so you guys can get a feel of what it looks like with those 2 applicators. And I'm going to do a wear test. I'm gonna wear it for a few hours today while I'm out and about running errands, and I'm gonna show you guys how well it wears and what it looks like by the end of the day for somebody like me with a more oily skin type. Okay, so I don't have anything on my face at all, just a little bit of moisturizer from this morning. I do have a little bit of eye makeup on just so I don't look too crazy. I do have more of an oily combination skin type, therefore I do usually gravitate towards more matte foundations. I have absolutely no dryness on my skin at all, and I do get pretty oily in my T-zone throughout the day. I am going to apply this foundation and use my primers that I use on a daily basis. I don't want to like not use a primer. I know a lot of people do that sometimes when testing a foundation, but I just want to use all the products that I truly use on an everyday basis and the products that I know work for me, because in the end, that's what I'm going to be using when I wear this foundation. So I'm going to be using my everyday primers. So I should probably put my hair up because I don't want to get any makeup in my hair. The first thing that I start off with is the Too Faced Hangover RX Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray. I spray this all over my face before anything, just because I feel like it gives a really great like sticky base, and I honestly feel like this truly helps make the foundation stick better to my skin and just last a lot longer. So this is the first thing that I go in with. So I'm just going to spray that on my face. I probably spray a lot more than I should, but oh well. And then, just to speed up that process a little bit, I take my handy dandy little fan and dry my face off with that. Okay, so once all that is dry, then I will go in with my Too Faced Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. I love this. This is infused with coconut water. I feel like this also has like a stickiness feel to it that really ensures the longevity of the foundation. This is more of like a moisturizer consistency, so I really do like this. I literally will use one pump. I used to use a lot more, but I found that using one pump is like perfect. And I put a few dots all over my face and just blend that into my skin. After I do that, then I will go in with my tried and true Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer, and this is in the smoothing one. This is for pores. I do have a little bit of a problem with pores on my nose and like on my cheeks right here. So I will literally just dab a little like in this area where I do have pores. So for the application, I'm going to, I guess, do half my face with a sponge and then the other half I'm going to do with brushes. Honestly, I kind of go back and forth between what I use. I do really like using a sponge to apply it. I feel like it kind of like tones it down a little bit and doesn't make it as heavy. But on days where I'm kind of in a rush, like usually during the week when I'm getting ready for work, I will go in with a brush just because I feel like it's a lot quicker. So it's really a preference. I go back and forth between what I use, but just for the sake of the video, I'm going to do half with a sponge and then half with brushes. I don't really think about how many pumps I use, to be honest. I just kind of go as I need it. I don't like dab it all over my face and blend it out. I just kind of squirt it onto the sponge and then kind of tap away and apply it that way. So that's what I'm going to do. So I did one pump. And I'm gonna apply it on this side of my face and see how that comes out. And I have tried this foundation before, so this is definitely not a first impression. And I have to say that the first thing that I did notice the first time I tried it was that this foundation consistency is a lot like more liquidy than the original formula, which I didn't really like at first because I like more of a thicker, I like when the foundation looks and like feels a little bit thicker, then I know that it's doing its job and more like full coverage. But that was just one thing I wanted to point out that I did initially notice like right off the bat. So yeah, I'm definitely going to need some more. What I really like about the sponge is that it definitely like dilutes it a little bit, so it's not so like full coverage upon applying it. So I do like that, and I feel like when you push the foundation into your skin, I feel like it just like blends better sometimes, whereas with a brush sometimes you get like the streakiness. So yeah, that is what this side of my face looks like. It's definitely pretty full coverage. The foundation says that it's buildable, so you can definitely add more layers. And I do notice that you can barely even see my pores at all. So this is supposed to be like a pore refining foundation and paired with my Makeup Forever primer, you literally can't see my pores at all. So yeah, I really like how it applied with the sponge. And now we are going to do the other side of my face with the brush. So like I said, I feel like the brush definitely applies it a lot quicker. This is the Morphe G36 brush, and I really wanted to get another one of these, but I don't think that they carry this line anymore, so I have to find something that is equivalent to that. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the brush honestly applies it just as well. I don't look too crazy on camera. I hope that this shade is okay for me. This is the shade that I literally always wore in the original formula, so. This is like so hard to do this, like holding a mirror and doing it. Normally I have my big mirror in front of me when I'm doing my makeup, so it's kind of hard to like see what everything looks like. So yeah, that is with the foundation fully applied to my face. I use the sponge on this side and the brush on this side. And to be honest with you guys, I really do like this foundation. Like I said, I have tried it out before and it does feel a lot lighter than the original formula, but I feel like it sits on my skin and looks just as nice as the original one. But it just feels very nice on my face. It does not like feel too heavy, too cakey, or too drying at all. I'm going to do the rest of my makeup, I guess, how I normally would, use my normal powders that I normally would, and I'm going to wear this for a few hours and see how it truly wears. I'm just going to show you guys exactly how it looks after a few hours of wear. So yeah, I'm going to put on the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I finished the rest of my face. I hope you're having a good day. What? Okay. Anyway, so I am back. I put on the rest of my face. I did my concealer, my brows, my contour, powder, all of that, and just used typically the products that I would use on an everyday basis, just so I could truly get a feel of how this foundation looks with all my everyday products. I actually was watching back the footage of me applying the foundation, and I feel like I have to admit, I don't have the best setup. I don't have the best lighting, the best camera. So sometimes what it appears on camera is not really what it looks like in person. So I feel like when I was applying the foundation, the color kind of looked a little bit off, but honestly in person, it's like a perfect match. I usually self-tan, so that's why it does look a little bit darker, but honestly, it is like a perfect match. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. But yeah, I mean, upon like putting everything on and just using all my products to like set everything, I really do like how this is wearing, and I like how it looks like all together. It is Monday, it is my day off, so I do have quite a bit of errands that I have to run. So for today, I'm going to be out and see how well this foundation truly wears. So I will be back in a few hours to let you guys know how it looks and how it lasts. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Hey guys, so it has been 2 days since I filmed the first part of this video. When I initially went to do my check-in that night, I was having a lot of trouble with the footage. For some weird reason, it wasn't like importing. Well, it was importing, but it was super blurry and I couldn't figure out how to get it not blurry. So I figured that today when I did my makeup for work, I would use the same foundation, apply it exactly how I did in the demonstration, and just wear it throughout the day and then record myself showing you guys what it looks like by the end of the day. I put the foundation on at 9 o'clock this morning, so it's been about 10 hours since I initially put my makeup on. I did not touch my makeup at all. Normally I do blot throughout the day just because, like I said a million times, I have more of an oily skin type, so it's definitely crucial for me to blot throughout the day if I don't want to look crazy. So let's see how this looks. I have to say that I do look pretty crazy. I'm super oily in my T-zone. Like I said, that's where I typically get oily. That's where I blot throughout the day. But especially on my nose and on my forehead here, it looks super, super shiny. And my Botox is like completely worn off. so my skin looks really bad. It's hard for me to really say whether I do or don't like a foundation based on me not being able to blot throughout the day, because that's what I typically always do. So I feel like if I were given the chance to be able to blot throughout the day, I feel like the foundation wouldn't look as bad to me as I feel like it does. With that being said, I feel like it's not horrible at all. I feel like a lot of foundations that I try out tend to kind of break up and disappear from my skin, especially around my nose. I do find that it's coming off a little bit underneath my nose, but that's just from like touching my nose throughout the day. Another spot I always notice is down on my jaw. I will notice that it kind of like wears off, but I found that this one didn't really do that. So I feel like overall it's a pretty good foundation. I do have other ones that I definitely do prefer, but I don't think that this one is bad at all. Wow, my forehead is super, super shiny. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like after 10 hours of wear. I feel like people don't typically wear their foundation for any longer than that. That is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video.